Hi everyone, I've had a couple of requests to share how I make mock-ups and how you lay things out. So I thought I'd just look at creating something for you very quickly. So you can see here that I'm opening up a new PowerPoint and changing the size of it. So I'm changing it to a square canvas so that I can add to it. But if you were doing a pin, you would change it to a long pin, say, or you can keep it to the PowerPoint traditional size. It's totally up to you. So this is changing, as you can see. So just make it a little bit bigger for you and delete the click to add title. So I've got a completely blank canvas. On my right, you can see here I've got my ocean freebie that you can download on TpT. So I'm going to be using this and using some other aspects from other designs, some that I haven't uploaded yet, but they'll be coming to the store soon. So just heading over to my mock-up area. It's a little bit disorganized. So I'll just go into the growing bundle to pick out some paper to lay on the back of the scene. Just move that to one side. So I'm just using some really pastel tones, some light tones, nothing too over the top for the decor of the ocean wave. So here I'm just adding a notebook that you could easily move around and pop wherever you need to in your scene. Just make this a little bit bigger. And then I'm just choosing some paper that would go well with that to lay under it. And obviously size is really important to have perspective. So I would say hot tips are size, shadows, and making sure that you don't have too much going on in your scenes. Your product should be the main event. And obviously layering then is really important. So you can see I'm bringing this notebook to the front. One mistake I would say that people do make, and once again I'm not perfect on this, but I would say that people make mistakes getting the ratio right. So pens sometimes can appear bigger, and especially hands. Hands can appear quite large or quite odd looking if you don't get it right. So it can take a while for you to tinker with it and tweak to make sure that you've got it right. And I would say don't be afraid to ask for help. If you think, oh, I've made it and I'm still not happy, maybe join our Made to Mock-up for TpT Authors on Facebook. I'll put a link below, and ask in there to see if anybody else can provide some advice for you. I find that asking advice from fellow TpT authors or any friends or family sometimes can help, because they can see with a clean eye, whereas you could be looking at an image for a long time and be happy with it and not pick up on perspective or shadows, etc. So here I'm highlighting all. So one other tip I would say is make sure that you've got your shadows coming from the same direction. You imagine that you've got a light in one corner or another corner, and then use that to make your shadows to build a more realistic scene. I'm just adding paper here. I'm going to make it a little bit darker just so that you can see where your resource would actually go. And then we've got a clip to overlay within the freebie pack, and I've also got other clips in other packs. So it depends how sort of glam you want your product to look. If you want it to look completely office-like and neutral, you can use something like this. And I'll add a little clip later just to show you how it could look with a different clip. So I'm just opening up the freebie pack that comes with it, all movable elements as well. And you'll see in here when it loads, my computer's a little bit slow because I've got so many clip art images. You'll see I've pre-made some scenes for you and some backgrounds. I will say, having read lots of posts and talked to other authors, that people do prefer, when purchasing and scrolling, because we're all about stopping the scroll, they do prefer the clean, crisp images. So sometimes, you know, it might be pretty and nice to have the wood backgrounds, but if you're in a competitive market where people are looking on TpT and not necessarily just clicking your links to buy your resources, sometimes a white background could be better for you. So I'm just adding the paper to show you how the tab overlays. Just find it, bring to the front and just pop it over there, and you can see there's a shadow already preset on this for you. And then you can just resize as you like. So I'm just going to duplicate some of these to show you how you can make one scene, or you can use the freebie scenes and then just add, not necessarily from my packs, but from anybody's pack. If you've downloaded other movable elements from other sellers, which there are a whole host out there which are fabulous, you can just add, you know, and mix and match within those. So you can make it a digital scene with an iPad or just paper. So here's some of my unnamed resources so far. So the pencils would be added to the top just to give it a bit more depth. And as you can see on the screen here, the little thumbnail, you'll only see a little bit of it, but it just gives you an idea. So I'm just taking away the scissors, and as you can see, you've got to be careful when you're resizing to make sure you've got that perspective right. So I'm going to go out to here now and just look at a couple of new ones that I'm in the process of making, just finding my clip. So here's my clip, so make it a little bit more flashy. Just resizing it and making sure that it fits nicely onto the canvas. And you can make that slightly smaller. As I said, perspective is always difficult to get right. Ask somebody what they think, if it looks realistic. Nobody's an expert. And as I said, the good thing about it is you can just duplicate and take some splashes of colour from other packs, which is fun. This pencil case is designed to have sort of pens or pencils coming out of it. So you just need to get the layering correct. As you can see, I'm trying to make perspective look good here once again. And then don't forget your shadows. Don't forget the papers need to go at the back just for it to look realistic. And then shadows are essential. And the larger the item, the more bulkier the item, the larger I like to make the shadows, because the shadows that it would cast would be slightly bigger than the shadows, say, a piece of paper that would be lying flat on the desk. I'm just playing about with the shadows here. And that's the beauty of PowerPoint. You can just Control Z or undo, and it'll come straight back. And these papers, the marker papers, are